on sheer will and determination. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? I am Western Conference, the host of the Wild West Show, and I'm here on my boy Hot's channel here. Always great to be here. It's always good to be here with you guys. I just want to say a shout out to the people watching on YouTube, and I'm also live on Twitch for the first time, also on this evening. So right
What's
now
up,
we have the
Twitch?
powers of YouTube and Twitch all in one. So shout out on whatever outlet you are tuning in from. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to the audience. That's what we here for. Just to give y'all a little something. Like when Pizzle says what's cracking, it just makes my soul feel good. You know. Happy
Pizzle.
Wednesday to you, Daniel. Um, thanks for
So
coming
just
by.
real fast. So I did hear something from Josina Anderson saying that we are re-signing Patrick Graham. So I don't know if it's like done deal, signed, sealed, done.
No,
But
listen.
that was
The
the like.
senior said it.
So that was the like last thing that I've seen and I heard. So
Mm,
she's saying that I'm kind of have faith, that it's done and deal. But yeah, I'm happy to have PG back. He's a familiar face in our defense that has experience with our players on our roster, and
mm.
him and Pete Carroll, will gel well.
Speaking of familiar faces, I thought we had so much fun last time that we should bring back a familiar face. Familiar if you're a Raider fan, familiar if you watched our last show, and familiar because he just has one of those faces, right?
Hello, boys and girls. Hey, what's good?
Ready tomorrow. What's
Good to
up, brother?
have you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
So we were just talking about the fact that Mr. Graham seems to be back in business, and I think that's two geniuses in a lab together with different philosophies that can be tweaked and molded into some monstrous interpretation of a cover three odd front blitzy. I don't know, switchy. It could be something great.
Gonna be very
And
exciting.
yeah, so I mean, thoughts, search one.
I'm really excited about this. This is actually saving me from not doing a live. I was actually going to do a live on how important it was to retain Patrick Graham. For the sake of the continuity of the team, one of the best sides of the ball. And I think everybody can say that on this panel, the best side of the ball was the defense. What
Mhm.
what would be gone if we lost Patrick Graham? That whole defense. The whole reason why the defense, even with if you want to call them scrubs or the guys that you would see in preseason that were out there, the whole reason why they were out there and were doing well is because they were in that system.
Yep.
Our starters, and I've said this statistic for a while, but we had about nine, I believe it was like 9 to 11 starters all under Patrick Graham at least 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? The only additions that we had was Wilkins, and I think we added another guy, as a starter. But everybody, all of our starters were under Patrick Graham at least 2 to 3 years. So now you have those starters going into their third and fourth year, knowing what's expected of them from Patrick Graham. I think there's some things that maybe he was able to teach this year that he could say, hey, we're gonna add a little more to the playbook, and even make our defense even more. I think what makes it even a scarier situation, you said it, hot spot, you know, the systems of Pete Carroll are different from the system of Patrick Graham. So there might be situations. The best thing you can do for a quarterback is confuse them, right? So to have a quarterback thinking on third down that you're going to run something out of Patrick Graham's playbook, you know what I'm saying? But then all of a sudden we're flipping it to something that's in Pete Carroll's playbook is a surprise. You know what I'm saying? To to get to I believe what Patrick Graham runs is like a cover 2 match, you know what I'm saying, situation, and then to all of a sudden on third down switch to like a cover 3 or a cover 1, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of freaky things that can be done, especially on third downs, to confuse the you know what I'm saying, the quarterback. So hopefully, you know, Patrick Graham, who's already a lab chemist in himself, already put a you know what I'm saying, I had a video live that called him the mad professor, because I saw some things that he was cooking within himself. So for him to be able to sit with Pete Carroll, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, let's even set, like I said, if they set just some third down packages just to throw quarterbacks off, that's going to even make us even the more better. So I think it's a benefit. I think it also, you know, in regards to the guys that we wanted to bring back, we know that those guys will be coming back for the most part. You know, the Merricks, the you know, the Max Crosby's, the Spillanes, you know what I'm saying? They all were pretty much hanging around because they like Patrick Graham. You know what I'm saying? They like what Patrick Graham was doing defensively. So it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting how they deploy that. I really hope, you know, Pete Carroll does let Patrick Graham cook, because again, you know, if you ask me what the hottest thing in the kitchen was, it was Patrick Graham. So hopefully he just lets him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe implement a few things here and there and let that defense run. Because I think that's what's really going to help us win games, especially this season, especially if we don't you know, lock down what we're getting at quarterback.
Black, what's your thoughts?
About what? Everything? What?
You know, the defense of bringing
As far as
back, how that's going to work with Pete, and just how you're feeling about that as the breaking news.
I mean, I kind of figured.
I think you just seen it.
I kind of figured he was going to come back, because you haven't heard his name all over the place. You know, not even a couple places, and so that was one of them things that, if you watch the press conference, Pete Carroll eloquently stated that he's going to bring in some people that he know works in his system. He's going to talk to the people that's already here and retain them, and then look at some new, fresh people that don't know his system, so he could watch them compete, was his word, in his system. So basically, he got all bases covered. So with that being said, it's not a surprise that he's going to keep the most consistent thing that's left out of this wreckage that we have. So yeah, kudos to him. It shows that he's going to do what Pete Carroll does. You know what I mean? So it's consistent and it's congruent.
I would say one of the things that I think Twan touched on there is the players, because of Graham, right? We have some significant free agents. I think assuming that every single one of those guys was going to want to come back under a new defensive structure and learn a new defense, it is a negative to a player to have to learn a new defense. There's a possibility that could be enough to get them to just listen to other offers. When you know that you just come back under the same guys, most likely, right? Same coordinator, you already know the defense and you like the coordinator, and it makes the decision a lot easier, right? People don't like change, not that much. They really just kind of want to keep it the way it is if they can, right? And this
People
is
like to be routine orientated. They like to have the same pattern. You know what I mean?
They know what this feels like, right? Anything else is a risk. And so if you are a starter here, you're probably going to continue to be one unless you feel like you can't compete with the guys behind you, right? And I think the cover 3 element that's being implemented here. J-Dog says, I got to get a hand on these receivers as they're coming off the line to slow these guys down. He's talking about how he doesn't feel like Graham plays enough press. You know who is really into press coverage? Pete Carroll. Press bail, baby. That's it. Right. So if there's anyone that's going to be like, hey, man, maybe we should play some more press. He'd probably say it something like that. It's going to be Pete Carroll. So probably, getting your questions answered there. So.
And then I just so where he's saying J-Dog, he's saying no receiver should be let off the line, and I absolutely agree on that. I always like when corners when they jam them, bump them real quick, and then they back up. Yeah,
yeah. Don't get those fast guys for releases in the NFL. You shouldn't do it pretty much, unless you just have some amazing off coverage corners. Tough to play off coverage nowadays with how fast guys are and kind of the advantage that goes to the receiver at the catch point, right? But there's guys who can do it. So I guess it's specific to your defense. I don't love the idea. I think chip, get your hands on the receivers early. But that's kind of the Raider philosophy too. So
I think there might have been a specific reason why he decided to go that route. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my hope. It was that he was looking at what we had and was like, maybe it ain't gonna benefit us by doing that. But we can look at it again. I think, with Bennett coming into another year, you know what I'm saying, and whoever else they decide to bring in, on the other side, if they decide to, keep Jack Jones or whatever the situation may be on that part of the secondary, we'll see how that plays out. But I think, it benefits the team, but it also benefits, Pete Carroll, right? He's coming in and has to bring in new guys, right? And bring in, what I'm saying? Now he, I don't want to say he doesn't have to worry about the defense, but now his focus should really be what we're going to do with the offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Graham, as much as some people may believe it or may not like it, Patrick Graham is a head coach of the defense, in terms, you know what I'm saying? So they can kind of, he's like a crock pot. You can set it and forget it,
Nice.
It's kind of one of those situations with Patrick Graham. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's the top defensive guru or anything like that, but right now the focus should really be what we're going to do with that offense, because I think that defense, the way that they ran and with the guys that we currently have and the guys that we're hopeful to bring back in, that defense is going to be back to what it is. I think it's actually going to be a little bit better, going into this year than last year. But going in the earlier this season, right? We were talking about this team, this defense being top 10, top 5, right? That's still the that's still the mark. You know what I'm saying? And I think they'll still be there. With Patrick Graham being back, and then the additions of, Pete Carroll having his little input here and there.
Yeah, I think, health permitting. Yeah. I think that's really what was the biggest hurdle for this defense, was just guys, not being on the field, that were important to our ability to stop other guys. Chris Wilkins was important.
Absolutely.
Diablo to our defense season, and I'm gonna tell you, on this team he was important because the replacement. I have to watch my back.
It's gonna be exciting to see him back, fully healthy. Him and Pete Carroll, that chemistry between them and Jackson Powers Johnson, they're so outgoing, and it's going to be just beautiful. I am excited for that. And shout out to Natural Born Raiders podcast. Salute to a Raider content brother. Salute, man.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. I got to be a fan of a Pete Carroll coach team, because I'm a USC fan, and so the firsthand kind of feeling of what it's like with him as coach, I've already had that, so I'm excited for that again. I think people who have not been under this, it's different. It's like the antithesis of the Patriot Way, guys. If you hate the Patriot Way, then you're gonna love Pete Carroll, right? Responsibility through individual freedom and expectations of competition and high values, integrity, right? Rather than babysitting and control. It's a funny little thing.
Yeah. If I didn't see the press conference, I would be indifferent with that. But the thing is, like he said, they're going to sit down. They're going to have a prototype type player. It's not like a specific type player, but it's like you got to have a certain chemistry makeup to play in this building, so he doesn't have to police you like that. You know what I'm saying? So now we got Phil Jackson. So I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I agree with him. Like, if you got certain caliber of men with the same mindset, everybody knows the expectation. So you don't need to walk up and down the hallway or be in everybody meeting or be all in the, like they say, all in the videos, dancing all in the videos. So
singing in the songs.
Yeah, singing on the songs, right. Yeah.
And Black, I completely agree with you, man. Like, just think about it. If we had, and I'm just gonna say a couple of names, but if we brought in some more Max Crosby's, and we brought in some more Robert Spillane's, and we brought in some more Adam Butlers, you ain't got to police those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, their mentality is they come to work. You know what I'm saying? The Brock Bowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta police those guys. So if you bring in those type of guys in, there's really no, you know what I'm saying? You ain't babysitting. You just saying, hey, this is what we gotta do. This is what we're gonna do. Let's go do it. And if you can't do it, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. The door's right there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the flip side of it is Pete Carroll ain't gonna play around with you either. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. If you ain't gonna be about it, you're gonna be out the door. You know what I'm saying? And
he'll just politely show you the door.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see, the dynamic with one of the most colorful, you know what I'm saying, guys, and that's Marshawn Lynch. Like, if he can handle Marshawn Lynch and his, you know what I'm saying? But Marshawn Lynch knew, hey, when it's time to work, it's time to work. And, when it's time to fool around, we can fool around. Like, so when you're bringing those type of guys in, you know what I'm saying? And we can talk about Marshawn Lynch's history before he went to the Seahawks, but and how that wasn't so well. But if he can handle those type of guys and still, bring those guys in, but they still fit with what he's trying to work with, hey, let's run it. So, and I don't think we have, just even looking at our roster right now, I don't think we have too many of those guys. I can name one, but I'm not going to put his name out there. But you know what I'm saying? There's not too many on the roster where you're like, okay, they ain't going to come out there and be ready to work.
Yeah.
Say his name. Say his name.
So I just
ain't gonna incriminate him.
I just want to share
initial
my thoughts on the press conference, and I'm gonna just say it was a home run, grand slam dunk, 3-point from freaking half court shot. And I'm gonna be completely honest here. Out of all the coaches that were just hired, between the Jacksonville Jags coach, the Cowboys coach. Now, Aaron Glenn did have a pretty good press conference, but I'm going to rank him second. But Pete Carroll and John Spytek, they came in and they talked, and it actually felt like adults were in the building, and I didn't feel them trying to be a used car salesman trying to sell me hype. Um, and I love how Pete Carroll came in. He was joking, he made the whole crowd feel good. And did you guys see his interaction with Max Crosby? So for all the people that were like, I don't know about Max Crosby and Pete Carroll. Well, if you look, I just posted a YouTube short on it. They looked kind of touchy, happy little, oh, you know what I mean? Eyes, eyelash, you know what I mean? Bat
No,
eyes.
man, that's like kissing babies, though. You got to do that, man.
No, you don't understand. These two are going to be like two peas in a pod.
They are. And and I just have to, say Max Crosby is going to have, and yes, I am saying this.
Here we go.
He is going to have.
Here we go.
The best coach of his pro career, taking him to his highest potential. Now, I know where you think, or I was going to go with that, but I'm going to just, calm down with that. But this was the big thing that I absolutely adore from Pete Carroll. So I'm going to say this here. He had 3 rules. So the rule 1, protect the team, be mindful of your teammates on and off the field. If you see them on the verge of making a mistake or doing something that's not going to get them in trouble, then it's on you to help step in and correct the situation. So, what's the first thing that I think of? Ruggs, and other players, that have had.
Whose rules is this?
Pete Carroll has 3 rules, and this was the first rule that he said. So I'm going to go to rule 2 now. Rule 2 of Pete Carroll's 3 rules: no whining, no complaining, no excuses. If it's raining, Carroll doesn't want to hear your gripes. Hey, it's a good opportunity to practice wet ball drills. Look for the silver lining in every situation. And rule 3, be early. Hey, it sounds simple, right? But it's a sign of respect. If you're stumbling into a meeting late, you're putting your time above the team's time. Have respect for the greater good. Now, those are all 3 simple rules that a person, from outside the box could be thinking, right? Like, oh, that's kind of simple. But those simple rules go a long way.
Yeah, they do.
The consistency of actually enforcing them, right? Like setting that expectation from the get-go. This is what it is, right? And then there's no, we're going to get mad. We're just going to take action.
Right.
This whole business decision stuff that he was talking about, it is apparent under Pete Carroll. It's always a business decision. Every one of your decisions is a business decision because you're a business and so is the team. And so when you make choices, we have made it really clear how we feel about them.
Yeah. And then I just got to say, for all the fans out there who are advocating for Liam Cohen, did you guys see his press conference? Like, I ain't trying to be mean or a jerk, but he looked like a dork. He came out.
I didn't see that.
So he came out and said, Duval, search it up. Search it up. That will be the top thing. It's him, dorky. Look, he kind of looked like he wasn't ready to be a head coach, but hey, who?
That's cool.
Who knows, right? Like, he might be like a big dork, but he draws up some great players, right? But I just felt like out of the new coaching hires, he was the one that I was kind of, like, all right, I'm happy that that's not our head coach of the press conference right now. And then just one fact too, the Saints still don't have a coach right now.
Oh, they'll get one. The thing about Aaron Glenn, though,
right now.
Aaron Glenn looked like he was already on the hot seat. The way he looked like his hair was getting grayer. I don't know. I talked to Aaron. We text him, and we gonna do everything. We gonna just win. It's a damn fucking Jets. Damn it! I was like, what?
Hey, he gotta do that. You forgot what market that is. You thought
opening a press conference, and he already in mid-season form.
Exactly. Hey, that boy was looking like he just lost 3 straights after winning 4 in a row.
Hey, he already knew.
You guys are 4-3. What do you think's gonna know? Sorry.
Hey, he already knew he had to come in there guns blazing. You know what I'm saying? That's the market that they in. And let me say this on the flip side. I don't want my coach to have any kind of zest. So Cohen with the Duval zestiness, I'm glad you ain't over here because I don't want no zesty out of my head.
Absolutely. And he was
I
zesty.
like zesty nacho.
He was zesty. He was zesty. A zesty dork.
Man, I thought Mike McDaniel was zesty. That was. I think he takes the cake. I think them coaches in Florida might have something going on.
Duval.
Something's in the water out there in Florida. Just saying.
Mike McDaniel.
But I also have to say
there's always something in Florida going on.
To Aaron Glenn, I like how he came out and he's like, "We're built for this shit." You know, like he seems very confident in himself.
Yeah, okay.
So I give him props.
Yeah, he ain't coached no game yet. He ain't got no record yet. It's easy to be like that now.
Well, they will eat his confidence away slowly, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, he ain't got. I'm not saying he shouldn't have came in like that. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying he shouldn't have came in like that. What I'm saying is the way he
came in like Cohen and go Duval.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have came in the way he came. What I'm saying is the way he came in was like he was 4-3. And they were starting to talk about him like he won 4 in a row, then they lost 3 in a row, and then the hockey started bubbling up, and he was like, "We still number 1 in the division." That boy was going in already. What that means probably is don't fuck with me. Like I get it, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they got him. I'm glad they got him. That's a good fit.
Yeah.
That looks like it's a good fit. He looks like a better fit there than here. Let me say that.
For sure. Yeah, no. He feels like, I mean, that's where he started.
Hey, I'm happy with Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
I'm happy with Pete Carroll. I don't want no Aaron Glenn. No. I'm happy with Pete Carroll. I'm cool. Pete, compete. Pete, compete.
Pete Carroll. Competition Wednesday is a real thing, guys.
Oh, good.
That's a real thing. Guys fight for their job.
You know what's so funny though? Like, because I actually listened to, Aaron Glenn and him, him kicking in the door. It reminded me of Bernie Mac when he did the comedy show and said, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Like that's what it reminded me of. Like that's how, and I think that's the mentality that he took was like, look, I know New York is gonna chew me up, but I'm gonna come in here and kick the door down. So I'm glad he came in there like that. It may not pan out like that, but I'm glad that he started. He started with a bang. I'll say it like that.
He's got a shot.
Yeah,
he's got a shot. He looks like he's fit, and he can handle that media.
To the Saints, Mike McCarthy turned him down. So I don't know what else is like out there.
Mike McCarthy's doing nada. He's sitting out a year.
You know what I mean? Like he's
when you say I would rather Saints, okay, guys, the Saints, we gotta talk about the Saints thing. Okay.
Yeah, let's who wants to coach Derek Carr right now? Tell me that.
It's not the Carr. See, look, don't do that.
Black, say it, Black. say
$5,000 billion over the cap or something. I'm just gonna make up a number. I don't even know. It's like ludicrous how much money they have been spending and like stashing away, and like it's like the Raiders in the early '90s on steroids.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
because we can talk about like three years ago where I remember for sure on record 3 years ago I was like, I don't even know how the Saints is still making moves. and they continue to make moves. So when the Raiders was talking about, oh, we ain't got money and we can't spend it, I'm watching the Saints go over here going crazy, balling out at the dollar store. You know what I'm saying? Like what is we doing? They making moves.
They are
So, but you're right.
into the future.
They're in a major hole.
Yes, it's like 80 million.
Yeah, yeah, man. Saints. I'm gonna just call them the Aints right now because ain't no coach trying to go there right now. So they're
They
just
got
the
an
Aints.
aging quarterback who's expensive. The cap is hell, and it's going to be cap hell. It's got to be. The best players are injured. Their best defensive lineman is now aged and ready to probably have to retire. I mean, it's not an appealing job. I thought it was hilarious that people tried to say that this job wasn't appealing. I'm like, no, I can show you a job that's not appealing. That's the one where you don't have a ton of cap space, a high pick, and owner who's willing to support you in a state-of-the-art stadium in one of the best cities in the world. But anyway, not that New Orleans is bad. There's just the whole hurricanes and stuff, and I don't really like Gator. But anyway, good place though.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that he's over there with New York. I don't know what's going to happen with the Saints.
I don't know who their coach will be. I don't know. Fear Raider, salute. But look, I'm gonna just be honest here with us having Pete Carroll. I don't feel, and I get it. You gotta win to like prove and change things, right? But just with us hiring Carroll, I just feel like we're not the one that they're going to point all these fingers at now because we have Pete Carroll. Because I really have faith that things are going to turn around, and we're not. And I know that me saying this is kind of a reach, right? But I really feel like we're not the laughing stock of the NFL as of right now, and that's just, and I'm confident in saying that.
No. I think that the moves that we made are probably well thought of by other teams. Do I care? Not too much. I'm sure they'll find something to hate us about soon enough, so don't worry.
Of course.
just wait. It's gonna happen.
If they don't find something fast enough, then they'll just start framing rumors against Pete Carroll. He froze up in a hallway the other day. Someone said that.
Hey, you know it's crazy though. It, especially for us now, it's kind of got played out. Like, how many times they're going to talk about, and we're going to have to hear it. Like I said, we're going to hear about this next, into next season. But the whole age thing is so old now. Like, we just got the coach, and it's already played out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what else are they gonna? It's like that little kid that has that one joke on you, but that's all they got on you. Like,
yep. Well said.
That's kind of where it's at right now. It's like, find something else about Pete Carroll, because we already heard about that he's old. What else are you gonna bring?
I don't think there is anything though, would it?
At that press,
that Super Bowl call.
At that press conference, watching him talk, his speed, reaction, and thought process, he does not look like a 73-year-old up there. Like he looks tremendous.
Or he looks like a 73-year-old before we started eating like trash and being poisoned. I feel like 73-year-olds used to be pretty damn spry.
Whatever he's eating and all that, I hope to be in that kind of shape at his age, man. Because I give him props on that, man.
It's all the exercise, the dude. Like literally, 5K runs, push-ups, just for no reason. Push-up competitions with players. Like, competition is real. Like he's just like.
Mm-hmm.
It is, man. And you know, our parents, we used to get mad at our parents for telling us to go outside and play.
That's how you live.
That's exactly what he's been doing his whole life.
You keep him-
And that's why he is where he's at.
Exactly.
You know, anytime he can spin it, you know what I'm saying? Still throw some of them darts, you know. Look, you know, I mean, I can't wait to see that on the
Same here.
sideline. Him throwing, you know, playing catch with the quarterback. You know, that keeps him alive too.
J Dog says said he ain't taking no stinking pay cut.
I could respawn in a mean anti-car way or go in a good church way like car, you know.
No,
But
listen,
look,
like I said that the car's cost was the issue the whole time or anything.
It wasn't.
so I just have to say this one thing about car, and I don't know if you guys heard this too. And this ain't a bad thing at all, you know. So look, I'm being honest here. I'm being honest. I've been hearing some rumors around the tree, you know, that, and I don't know how much substance there is to this, but I've been hearing that the Giants might possibly be interested in a Derek Carr. So once I heard that, I was like, please ship him over there.
Oh
'cause
my
that's
god!
one-
If Derek Carr could help us by
Yeah.
going to the Giants and they don't pick a quarterback,
that would be
and we get
tremendously
rid because of it,
appreciated.
it would
Like
be
it would
like
be
everything worked itself out.
absolutely. And I'm thinking like, no, look, I ain't hating on Carr by saying this, so please don't take this the wrong way, Carr fans out there. But if the Giants are stupid enough to trade for Carr when they could possibly get a Cam Ward, you know, or a Sanders, or you know, whatever person they want, you know, then by all means, you know what I mean, do it.
Okay, so but this is the thing. You got to look at situations. Brian Dable, right? A lot of people thought he was going to lose his job. He did not. But I don't think that means he has a very long leash. I don't think he can afford to say,
Get a guy,
Let's
groom
draft
him,
and then we have another bad season, and you go, well, it's because it's a rookie. They're like, yeah, nah. I think they made that clear that he needs to show progress and wins. And when you tell a coach that, you know what they
Win now.
don't want? A rookie fucking quarterback. And the same thing is going on in Tennessee. Brian Callahan is in his second season. He already just went through this Will Levis stuff, and they were not good. And if you're not good 2 years in a row as a coach that has no track record of success, I mean, how long was it before we were ready to axe Antonio Pierce? That was year one, really, right?
yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Callahan has a long leash where he can just kind of throw a rookie out there and live with it. So don't be surprised if, like, the Tennessee Titans, like, draft not a quarterback.
And they go with Genty or something wild like that.
Abdul Carter is probably the number one pick in the draft, guys.
Oh, dude, I've been saying, like, he is a defensive nightmare for the opposing offense, man.
Mm-hmm.
You could compare him to Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Like, he's really, really talented. And if that's now, as much as I would like to get a quarterback in the draft, I've said this on our last live here. I believe it was the last live or the live before that. My updated, picks for that if we couldn't get a Cam Ward or a Sanders, Abdul Carter
Mhm.
would be, you know, my person to draft.
So talking about that, I had a note on this. So let's say for some reason the draft falls and we're at 6, and Abdul Carter, Shador Sanders, and Genty are all still on the board. I'd like to go around and see what you would do in that
I already
situation.
pushed my button for I
Mm,
got my answer locked in. I'm already.
Western, go ahead. What would you do?
So I understand how much Carter would be an absolute impact, right? But our defense is not the weak point, you know, right now. And I really feel like it is imperative that we do get a quarterback. Who else than Sanders if he falls to us at 6? I feel like what Sanders does, if he indeed falls to us at 6, it's a no-brainer, and it's imperative that we do draft him. You know, he's been working with Tom Brady, you know, since he was a kid. Work with his pops, Dion. You know what I mean? So I feel like that would be a choice that we would have to go with. And I love Carter, trust me, but I just feel like we're not weak on the defensive side of the ball. And I get it, the fans out there who they pound the table for AOC, right? And I get it. But when there's a Sanders there, then you got to go with Sanders. Arnie Garza salute. So my choice, final answer, Shador Sanders.
Okay. Black, what's your thought? Situation, you got Shador along with Genty and Abdul Carter all still available at 6. Where would you go, and what's your kind of thought process behind that?
Black.
Black? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're at number 6, you're the GM, and Genty along with Abdul Carter and Shador Sanders are all available, which way would you go? Why?
I mean, if Shador dropped to 6, of course that would be the logical because we need a quarterback. I mean, Genty is cool, but not a top 6 pick. Carter, I mean, you can go with that if you would, but then you can also go with the corner out of Michigan. I don't think we're going to pick at 6, though. I think the Spy Hunter.
You got to put that on a soundboard, brother, and we got to get that loop. Got to get that loop.
He gonna cruise on up. And we gonna get our quarterback at number 1, number whatever, and then they're gonna be saying this Spygate
2.0, baby.
2.0. They're like Spygate.
Spygate, Spytek, and there's one common denominator: Tom Brady.
Yeah. I love it.
So, let's see. It says Carter and Henry going 1 and 2.
You must be talking about Genty.
Huh?
You must be talking about Genty. Who's Henry?
Yeah, I'm like, Henry. You mean Hunter, maybe? Maybe he's talking about Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Let us know who you're talking about.
I'm thinking Travis Henry, Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry's a tight end.
Yeah.
Oh man. J-Dog says, looking forward to the season. Can't believe a popular content creator said we should tank this season already. This season? Who the hell?
This current season, after we just signed Pete Carroll,
What?
I haven't seen Nobody. I mean,
Let's not talk about this season. Let's talk about all the ones that was talking about Tank last season.
You mean me?
Can we talk? Where they at?
Oh, right here. Right here.
God.
We would
I
have
was
the
here.
number one pick.
I
What
was
is wrong with you?
Man.
I was here.
But
I
you
was here.
you really love those Jaguar and freaking Saint victories that much? Do you hold those close to you
Sure
at
did,
night?
because I was in New Orleans watching them.
Man,
lose.
I was in the
I love walking
in
down.
Legion.
I love walking down Bourbon Street talking about y'all ain't that. Y'all talk about who that. Y'all ain't that.
That's freaking cinema right there.
Yes, sir. I was in. Hey,
Well,
look.
I hope
Hey,
you
hey,
enjoyed
look.
it.
Every game I went to, we won, so I'm good.
Hey,
Can't
well,
say that for much. Hey, but you to answer your question, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get around to me about the who would I pick?
Yeah, what'd you do?
yeah, please do, brother. Please do.
It all boils down to, and I'm gonna do canceling. First one I'm canceling is Genty. Why? Because when you look in the draft, and you know, if you want me to break this down, I'll break it down even more. If you look in the draft, there is going to be starting running backs that you can get, even in the later rounds.
Deep
so
draft.
you don't have to go for a Genty, okay? X him off the list, okay? Abdul Carter, as much as I like him, we do have D linemen here. What we don't got is quarterback. So I at this point, I would have to go with need, and we need a quarterback.
That's 3 out of 4 for Sanders.
I love Carter. I look, if I could magically bring Carter over here, you know what I'm saying? Of course, our D line would be on steroids, because that means you would have, you know what I'm saying, Abdul Carter, you know, on one side, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Kuntz. No, that ain't even gonna work out. That there goes the politics, right? If you pay for Kuntz to come back, he's gonna automatically assume that he's gonna be the starter. So now you got Abdul Carter sitting the bench.
You also have
like that.
Chase on.
Yeah, Chase on. But to be honestly, I like Chase on, but I don't like Chase on that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like him as a rotational guy. Bring him in third down. You know what I'm saying? Let him get a couple of pass rushes here and there. But you know what I'm saying? My bread and butter guys, you know.
I feel the same way.
I can't give him bread and butter. So, but he definitely is an auxiliary piece, right?
Absolutely.
But quarterback, my opinion, the only two quarterbacks we got is AOC and Carter Bradley.
I think it's a very strong possibility that we will not see Gardner Minshew in Raider jersey again. So there's some people who are very happy about that.
He's gone. He's gone.
So, you know, this is interesting for me, right? I haven't completed my quarterback evaluations. But, you know, this is one of those years where there are a lot of good players, right? And those good players in this draft, I think, are better football players overall than these quarterbacks. The quarterback is such a premium position, right?
Absolutely.
It's an interesting thing because we don't know exactly what the offense will look like. I have a strong suspicion that the offensive coordinator will be Darrell Bevel. For those who have some familiarity with the Seahawks, Darrell Bevel was the coordinator of offenses that were, I think, 2, 3, 2, 4, like 18 or something in total offense in the NFL with him at the helm. The only time they had a non-top 20 offense was his first year and there was no Russell Wilson. They were one of the better offenses out there, despite the idea that they relied just on that defense. They, like I said, were top 5 offenses for 4 or 5 years in a row. He is responsible for the call in the Super Bowl. Just put it out there, right? Living up there was a little bit, I think, just this real bitterness because of that on the Seahawks fans. And they began to pick at him, right? Because they kind of blamed him for the lack of a second consecutive Super Bowl. Since then, he has been assistant head coach twice when coaches got fired. I think that says something. 2 different teams, Detroit and Jacksonville.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. If Pete Carroll does inquire and hire some of his former Seahawks coaches. I know there's some fans out there. They say that they're tired of the Patriot way. Now it's the Seahawks way. I'm tired of hearing ways and all that stuff. So can we just please put that to rest? And
it's the Pete Carroll way because he's our new head coach.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't doubt it. If he does, not just only inquire about old coaches, right? But I guarantee you he's going to try to inquire about some former players too. And if you think about all the players that came out after he was hired as our coach, a lot of his former players that he coached were proud of him. They're like, yo, man, salute, and they love him, and I'm really excited for the free agency and what's going forward more than last year. I'm like ready to go. I kind of hope I could sim the season here on a PS5 game, on Madden sim season, and just go forward. But yeah, good things will happen, and I'm gonna just say this here, and I'm sure you guys heard this a bunch of times from different people too, but I really trust the process.
Hold on. So we are graced by Mr. Christopher Kunkel. So I have to give up props to Chris. Chris is a Hawks fan, but one of the best people on the planet. So do not come for him because I will come for you. He was the first person I heard, and then I went on a show with Western, and there we go. We're saying the same thing. We were saying the same thing because Chris sent me a message, and he said, have you been paying attention to the fact that it might be Pete Carroll as your head coach? Chris, you beautiful human. You
shout out to Chris, Seahawks fan.
That's right.
It's cool. It's awesome. I'll say this again. Last year when Harbaugh was out there too. I wanted Harbaugh, and Pete Carroll was right there. Like they were both even. What I mean? So I've been my eyes were on Carroll since last year, and then once they came out and said, well, he's interested in the Bears job. He just came out. Like he wants to re-coach again. I was like Jim Carrey, oh, so you're saying there's a chance, I got hyped up, and as much as a lot of people were like Ben Johnson, I wouldn't mind him being the hire, but the surefire coach was Pete Carroll, and I'm happy that we made the right call.
Yeah, for sure. He's always been one of my favorite coaches, obviously from time at USC. I've been pro. He coached our team since then, so very cool to have him here. It feels good.
One last thing here too. So I just have to say, aside from your friend here,
Mhm.
Seahawks fans are coming out and saying that the Raiders are their team in the AFC. Like that's their second team after the Seahawks now because that's how much love they have for Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? And they're out and they've came out to me and said congratulations on getting Pete Carroll. You guys got a great hire. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so shout out to the Seahawks, Birds Nest or Coop or whatever you guys are, but salute to y'all.
Hawk's Nest. It's gonna be okay. It's fine. There's no slanderment. Just
No, I don't follow them, like that, so I don't know what they call themselves there, but shout out to y'all.
speaking of that stadium, I was last time I was there. Uh, Josh Jacobs walked it off, so that was beautiful. Beautiful thing. Got to scream at all the Seahawks fans. So I feel you on that Saints thing, Twan. But it was even sweeter in Seattle because
And we don't play each other in the AFC West anymore, so
no, but it was
it's
good.
all
It was
good.
to reassert that dominance again. Sorry, cover your ears, but it was beautiful. Just I was talking so much shit, big shit. Oh, it was great.
Yes,
Uh,
fans, the Seahawks were in the AFC West.
they
They
were
they were. So for all the younger fans out there, the Seahawks were in the AFC West.
at one point, and we owned them. So they ran away to a
They
different conference.
fly pelican fly like a Scarface. Nah, but hey, I ain't trying to hate on them. You know what I mean? They have been a class act since we got Pete Carroll. So shout out to
Yeah,
them.
no, they were my least hated uh, division, rival, and then they went up there, and living up there and all that good stuff. It was good to watch them. And when they won, everybody was happier, so that was good. Um, the fan base is rabid. They are rabid. Everybody wears a Seahawks jersey around town on Friday, so just saying.
So do you think that Russell Wilson won't have a chance going there, or
To Seattle?
no?
No,
No.
he's not going
So Chris just said
Oh,
right here, Russell not going to
oh,
go to the Raiders.
Tom Brady won't sign off on him. Why would Tom Brady not sign off on him?
I
That's
think
a
if Pete
good
Carroll and Tom, sit down, you know what I mean. They're like, hey, this might have a great potential going forward. I could definitely see Tom saying, all right, like, do it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about why he wouldn't sign off on it like that. That's a good one. So Spitfire says, I just want Arch Manning. I
May
get it.
Spitfire, I want Arch Manning too. And I'm going to say this now because we have Pete Carroll, but
No Diddy.
we're not going to. So for all the people or content creators saying that we're going to tank, if you guys paid attention to Pete Carroll's press conference, he's saying, it won't be 3 years, 4 years, all that. He's trying to win now. So I don't see us trying to tank or lose, especially with how old Pete Carroll is. He's going to fight and
He's a
try to
nanny.
win
He's going to be in
each
school
game.
so long that we could go through a whole we won the Super Bowl and then got bad and then still draft him. Okay. Don't worry.
And I'm going to just call this now, and I'm going to be the first one to say it here. Pete Carroll will get his 4th-year option. I'm saying it right now. I'm calling it.
Yeah, and that'll be the year that Arch Manning comes out. Okay. Just wait. He'll be there all for that NIL. Oh boy. You're going to be making that real money. You don't know, man. You're making like $10 million a year and playing in college. I don't know what the rush is, So, yeah, he's redshirt sophomore now, right? And so he's gonna probably at least play 2 years before he comes out. I don't see a Manning one and done thing just because of who his dad is and how he's going to want him to try to kind of learn and grow. So this whole tank for him, he probably won't be there. He'll probably be tanking for Nussmeier.
And I'll just say this: if we did have Antonio Pierce still, like some fans would want, and they're like, okay, we just tank for Arch, there would be no way he would come here with Antonio Pierce's coach. No way.
Can we get rid of that word?
Pierce?
No. Tank.
Oh, tank.
You mean respectfully play your
losing streak? Okay, losing streak. Downward spiral.
Is dead and gone.
Like, well, they're bringing it up. They're talking about tank already.
Pete Carroll said we trying to win now.
Yes. Thank you.
So
yes.
Where does win now turn into tank? Like, just get it out of your head. Whoever the top quarterback is, the only way that we'll get them is if we give up the whole boat for them. We're trying to win. I know some people are not familiar with that, but we're trying to win.
Yes. And I said the same thing.
Like I can't even. I'm sorry. Maybe I can't indulge in that conversation of we're gonna tank for some quarterback in college right now that hasn't shown way too much to even think of. Oh yeah, he's a good option.
So in regards to last season, since we were just on a downward spiral, I won't use that word, since we were on a losing streak and on a downward spiral, right? We already had the first round pick set and locked in. And I know that there's Raider fans that were, okay, I don't care about the downward spiral. Let's go out and win, right? But if you're playing games that are not going to get you in the playoffs or contend for a Super Bowl, right? And those games to me are pointless games, because at that point, why start your starters? You could put in backups or younger guys to see what they could do, right? And we could have just went that route, and then we could have the first round pick, and then the Raiders could have got whatever their heart desired. And but I do not condone any downward spirals or losing streaks for any quarterback this as of right now with Pete Carroll. So I agree with you on that. As I said earlier, Pete Carroll said he wants to win now, and at his age, he ain't gonna lose on purpose to solidify a higher draft pick.
I don't think it's because of his age either. Like, as much as people want to say, "Oh yeah, he's old," and that's the reason why he wants to win now. I think he has some pride to himself. I think he has some swagger to himself, and he knows what resume he brings to the table. So he knows a losing season with tarnish. You know what I'm saying? Put a little dirt on. Put a little dirt on his golden jacket at the end of the career. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's going to try to come in here and prove for the third time that he can turn a dumpster fire into something good.
Absolutely. And that was
that's the, I think that was the pride. And then let's go even deeper into that. I think his pride even brought him even into the AFC West to see that there's Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, and Andy Reid, and to be in a position where you can knock out all those guys, you know what I'm saying, as a head coach, that's going to look really good when everything's said and done. So I think there's some pride to himself, and I think that's going to benefit us. So the whole tanking thing, just get that out of your head. I don't even know why people talk about it moving forward. I know that was something back then, but that ain't what we cooking now.
So I just have to, say about his age, right? Father Time is undefeated, right? But I do see Pete Carroll coaching. I see him coaching this team for 6 years, tops. You know what I mean? And then I think he's gonna hang it up, by then, right? And within that 6-year span that I'm predicting and throwing out there, he's gonna win. He's gonna try to win as much as possible before he hangs it up.
Okay, I could see. We'll see if he goes beyond the contract. I think he might be ready to hand it over by then, and I think.
But I guarantee you, he will get that 4th year. I guarantee it.
I could do
As
it.
Black would say, I promise you. I promise you. Now that's a promise.
Yeah, man, that is a Sam I Am endorsed type of promise. So that's probably going to happen, people. How long can JT continue to run like that? The Najee Harris idea isn't bad at all.
Who brought up Harris first here?
I want to talk about this. You did. You did. You did. I am a draft running back kind of guy.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But I said, wouldn't it be the most Raider thing, if we did get out, and sign that, and that's been rumbling around lately. And then I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna just back out because I've been talking for like a while, so I want to share the like panel and stuff. But after Jenny, Trayvon Henderson is my dude. After that, so I'm gonna just.
He's a bad man. Yeah, there's some backs, guys. There's some backs in this draft. I'm a draft the back guy, but I'm not the draft the back guy high in the first round unless he is Saquon Barkley, or something like that. Is Genty Saquon Barkley, guys? I just don't see that. I don't know.
He's a good back.
He's really good.
He's a good back, but when you look at and that goes back to the old question of Shador, Abdul Carter, and all those. Like when you start looking at the depth of those rooms, you know what I'm saying, the groupings of players, like I think that's another reason why the quarterbacks have to go high, is because there's not too many, you know what I'm saying, clustered that we would say, oh yeah, those are starter caliber, you know what I'm saying, going in. Now you would have to, with all the other groups, like there's a bunch of D tackles, there's a bunch of running backs, there's a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, so you can figure out where to get one in the later rounds. But yeah, I think that's the same thing with the running backs. I think Genty is I think he deserves to be up at the top, but I'm not mad if you go get another running back. And I can run, you talked about Trayvon Henderson. I like dude out of North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I think it's Armari Hampton or something like that. I like his game. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about Ollie Gordon. You can talk about Raheem Sanders from South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like I can keep going down the list of running backs that are going to be available in those later rounds that, again, will get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
And Jenny ain't no Barry Sanders, so I don't want to hear that anymore. He ain't no goddamn Barry Sanders, all right?
Didn't he break his records?
He ain't no goddamn Barry Sanders.
They said he broke his records. No, he's not Barry Sanders.
Hey, I like Jenny, but he ain't no Barry Sanders. A-Train, he ain't Barry Sanders, okay, A-Train? Shout out to A-Train.
Okay, last year, if you look at the running backs, obviously Trey Benson was better than anybody else in the field, right? He was definitely the guy that should go highest, okay? Who was the number one running back and rookie in the NFL last year? Was it Trey Benson? Nope. No. Was it a second round pick? Nope. It was Bucky Irving, Oregon, playing for the Tampa Bay Bucks. You got muted, I think. What's going on with their sound? Black.
And who drafted him?
Spytek.
Spytek.
His name starts with a B.
So, Mr.
His last name starts with an I. And it ain't Brandon Ingram.
Good Bucky Irving, man. Bucky Bucks. Drafted Marquise Bucky Irving, okay? And that was our guy who identified that. So he has a track record. Ronald Jones was the other back that they picked who's been successful down there. He was not a first-round pick either. Ronald Jones from USC.
We're gonna find good backs. I'll say that. And the reason why I really believe that we'll have better backs coming into this year is because we're giving props to Spytek, but I think Seattle has some guys that they brought in too. You know what I'm saying? At that running back, you know what I'm saying, spot, and they were doing well. So I as deep as that room is, I think between Pete Carroll and Spytek, we'll have at least one or two running backs that will come out, you know what I'm saying, coming out of this draft, or, you know what I'm saying, draft one and then have a UDFA that they have their eye on, that, you know what I'm saying, down the line, and it's going to pan out for us.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of running backs, I wanted to kind of go over the Pete Carroll connected players that are available.
So I just got to say here, and I said this in the past too, the starting running back for our team this season, he ain't on the roster yet.
No, not
He's
a chance.
not on the roster yet.
Not here. So
I just had to say that.
Yeah. So if we look at the players that I have listed here, so we've got free agents. There's obviously Russell Wilson, right? Played for Pete Carroll from 2012 to 2021. Obviously, going to be a candidate possibly to take over that quarterback position and provide the stability and surety that we need if we're going to go into next year talking about winning games. And also, if we draft a quarterback, guys, we could, I don't know, sit him and let him learn a little bit rather than rush him directly into the field.
Oh, we're actually doing that?
We
actually know how to do that?
I think we're allowed to. Are we allowed to do that? Is that
Don't
illegal?
know why
That in
y'all
the old
don't.
book?
It's not gonna happen, so don't get y'all hopes up.
Oh man, please don't do that to me. If we sign Russell Wilson and Shador come out here and beat this dude.
Oh no, I won't. I don't necessarily think that'll happen. I don't think that'll necessarily happen. If we got Russell Wilson, then we might be okay. I'm just saying, like, we play all our quarterbacks, man.
That's been the problem, though.
It wasn't because we had a choice either. So,
well, we're gonna have a choice this time, damn it! If we sign Russ, just think about it that way. Or maybe we make a little tradey trade for the manageable contract of Geno Smith. Quite possible.
I was gonna say something stupid, but I'll keep my comment.
Uh-oh. I mean, Geno has been moderately successful up there in that system, able to do what's necessary, make some plays. Hey, it's an option, right? Another option that is connected to Pete Carroll that people aren't really talking about, one Sam Darnold. How is Sam Darnold connected to Pete Carroll, one might say?
I'm going to pull Austin Powers, Dr. Evil here. How about no?
Sam Darnold was quarterback at USC. That's all I'm saying. So who recruited him to play? Anyway, just putting it out there, so don't get all surprisey-eyesy. If Sam Darnold is an option. So moving away from the quarterbacks, and we'll come back to the quarterback thing. Defensive tackle Jerron Reed should be out there available. Talking about veteran guards, Lakin Tomlinson should be available, having played under him. Linebacker depth, or even a starter with Ernest Jones the fourth. It's unrestricted free agent. Actually, a really athletic and impactful linebacker for Seattle. And then one that I like is Travis Homer, running back. Played with Chicago for 1 year. I got to watch him up in Seattle some, and he's just this quick, fast, strong, catch everything kind of back. I think an improvement on what we were trying to get from like a Madison, and could absorb the loss of, because I think that Amir Abdullah has a very important life mission, and he's a special person, and I think that he's going to probably retire and move on to that, but I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just going to assume that from things. So I would like to see some sort of replacement for that sort of kind of third down ability. I don't know what will happen with Madison, but he seems a little sluggish. The Pete Carroll backs usually have some giddy up on the pity up, unless you're Marshawn Lynch, and it just doesn't matter because you just run through a motherfucker face. Town business. So trade block. DK Metcalf. Absolutely on the trade block. Loves him some Pete Carroll. Like, Pete Carroll drafted the dude and met him shirtless for the draft pick because of the whole famous DK Metcalf pictures without a shirt on. Him and AJ Brown. Damian Lewis, I believe, the guard from Seattle, also very talented and maybe on the block. So just some thoughts of players that you guys probably want to keep in mind out there that may end up passing our way.
What was DK's numbers last year?
DK, let's look at that.
Because for some reason he really wasn't on my radar last year.
So last year he had 66 receptions for 992 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is compared to his previous year down in yardage, same amount of receptions. And then 2022 was his like a peak year for him. That was with Russ. So 90 receptions that year for 1,048 yards and 6 touchdowns. Last year he had 66 receptions for 1,114 yards and 8 touchdowns. So a little bit of a down year last year compared to the previous seasons. He had 75 catches, 967 yards, and 12 touchdowns in 2021 with Russ. And then 83 receptions for 13 yards and 10 touchdowns in his second season. So as a rookie, 58 receptions, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. So dude gets in the end zone. He's obviously even more productive with Russell Wilson than he had been with, let's say, Dino.
I like DK, and I would trade for him, but it depends what they're asking for. But I would definitely entertain that option for sure.
There is some big body. Just if you're looking for a big body wide receiver, there is a few big body wide receivers in this draft too. Not saying that they're DK, you know what I'm saying?
DK-esque.
Yeah,
well,
now.
Well, technically,
if you're looking for that body type, there's some big body receivers.
Yeah, Ted McMillan is. I would say he has every T-Mac has every chance to be that damn good. So we'll see.
Polynesian pride, baby. That is my boy, bro. Poly Nation, stand up. You know what I'm saying? You got a Uso right there on the panel, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, we got to talk about DJ at the quarterback position a little bit later too. When we start talking about the possibility of some development of quarterbacks, yeah, that I think could sprout into something. And DJ Alicia, what's something? Can't say it. We'll figure it out. Florida State. He hasn't had a real chance to kind of fully develop. Whew. Might have the strongest arm in football. I'm not talking college football. Football. Like legit 85-yard passes. Bounced around. Yeah, Oregon State. And then I believe I'm blanking on his second school. He transferred somewhere. And then the coach decided to take another position. He used his transfer portal for a second time and ended up at Florida State, where he then got injured and didn't get to play most of the season. So he's one of those kind of prospects with a ton of like potential. He's a very big, strong man person. So it's going to be interesting. And so we'll look into him when we go through our quarterbacks here. Speaking of quarterbacks, there's some other possibilities now that we know who the head coach is. There is the free agent route, and then things that become more sensible in the draft. How y'all feel about one Jameis Winston?
I like Black go first.
Jameis Winston.
Well, we know. Well, I don't know.
And we've covered
I mean,
this.
Jameis would be cool. Jameis would be cool. He'd be cool, but I mean, I wouldn't want him to come in starting day one. I don't know. I can't even say that. I don't know. I mean, like, if we can get him, cool. I mean, like, I don't want to put the franchise on his back, but we got some options, you know? We kind of got some options. I kind of rather trade up and get a quarterback than you know, hinge on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't hate Jameis Winston, you know.
Twan, what are your...
He's a fan favorite. He's a favorite, and he's a heart favorite for sure.
Hey, one thing you'll say is that our offense will be interesting.
Got it. It will be interesting.
Hey, and I think I've said it too. You know, I'll say it, I'll repeat it. But, you know, one of the issues we had last year is Trey Tucker wasn't getting the ball. We know with Jameis, he'll chuck it up there.
He will. He will do that. There's also the whole, should we try our own luck and find our Sam Darnold? Right? And is that Zach Wilson?
I've heard, that, and so the only reason why I would take a waiver on him is because, he's very talented, right? When he came out of the draft, and who knows? He could just been in a rough spot, and he just needs, fresh start. And I wouldn't, oppose to it just because he's talented, but there's other quarterback options that I would feel more comfortable with going forward than him. But he is talented. I'll just say that.
Pete Carroll is like miraculous at the difference that he gets between the play of his quarterbacks and how they may have played previously. Geno Smith, previous to being in Seattle, was kind of sort of a dumpster fire, guys.
Just gonna give a quick timeout, and I got to do this for Raider Ryan. Raider Ryan is in the building, and when Raider Ryan is in the building, I'm gonna stop the show, and I'm gonna say salute to Raider Ryan
Yes.
the legend, the
The
myth,
legendary
Raider Ryan, man. How you doing, my brother? Great to see you, man.
Always support, so we show support back because
He
he's always
supports
you
everybody's channel, man.
It's the
He
dude.
is a true Raider legend.
The hardest working fan in YouTube chat, maybe. Can we say that?
Every Raider content channel that I go and watch, he's there. So this guy is an ambassador.
Mhm.
He is just, dude. I can't say enough good things about you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Great guy. Cares about the fellow Raider fan. Magnanimous. Good old Raider Ryan. You know who's pretty cool too is Arnie. Be dropping the comments. And fired him. Spytek loves free agent quarterbacks. Brady, Baker, only drafted Kyle Trask. Plus, loves the trenches. So, do they sign Sam Darnold? Draft Mason Graham? Dart in the second round? Do you agree with this or him? Or it could be this because he hasn't done it yet. Don't try to put that on him yet. So, the free agent thing. That's why I'm kind of bringing this up because, GM, right?
So his key word was if there is a Baker out there, and like who's really out there that's like a Baker.
Like a Baker, so like a highly drafted quarterback who is failing in the first couple. Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so from what I took from when he said that, he's like, well, there's a guy out there, like a Baker. So that tells me that he would definitely entertain it and pull the trigger if there's a free agent of that caliber out there, but I don't see it this free agency.
Sam
Is
Darnold's expensive.
is another guy, Bridgewater.
He's back. Another
Is
guy.
what was his was it a 1 year?
I think he just signed. Yeah, like a basically finished off the season. Just I'm back. Or he just came back under the previous contract he was already under because he already played for them when he decided to walk away. Let's see.
I'm not high on Teddy Bridgewater, and I always have a joke whenever my friends bring up, his name. I say, you know what? He's water under the bridge.
Hey. Maybe Bridgewater is our perfect bridge quarterback, okay?
And shout out to Raider Ryan. You are
Hey.
you are welcome, brother. You are welcome.
I've been saying this name for the longest, and I know some people ain't going to agree and whatever, but I would definitely if we searching for bargain bin quarterbacks, I would definitely be calling Cam Newton and seeing what he want to do.
I like Cam too, but I think he's satisfied on doing his YouTube content, playing Madden and NCAA. He's
at the end, his shoulder was just. I think it's no good anymore. I don't think he can be accurate anymore with that shoulder.
Okay, all right. So look. So I'm gonna throw this random question out here. Would you rather have Bridgewater or Joshua Dobbs?
Dobbs. So
I saw black. He's like, nah.
I don't love Bridgewater either. I just haven't told y'all yet.
Nah,
but who was the better quarterback in the draft that Bridgewater was in? The best quarterback in that draft was Derek Carr.
DC, baby.
That's true. Because that was the year that was Bridgewater, that was Bortles,
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, and Derek Carr at coming out of the second round was better than all those guys.
Best quarterback in that draft, just gotta say it.
Teddy ain't ready. He's water under the bridge, baby.
In the tight. What's that?
Oh, I said Teddy ain't ready, It's water under the bridge.
Oh my gosh! All right,
It's water under the bridge. You know, I'm gonna just wash my dishes in that water. No, I'm just saying. Look. I look good guy, right? You know, he's just. I'm gonna pull an Antonio Pierce card here, where he said the same thing about Russell Wilson trying to join our team last year. He just doesn't fit our team and culture right now. He just doesn't fit the culture.
Bridgewater, or
Yeah,
okay. What about Carr?
I don't want to go down that avenue anymore. He's a saint right now. He's an ain't.
He's
Who has no coach,
probably available.
and Rattler is on the cusp of taking over that position. And
Rattlers on the cusp of taking over what?
look, hey, I'm telling y'all, man.
The only thing that Rattler got is age. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the whole reason why they're trying to force Rattler on the situation, is because he's the younger quarterback. But
at some point, doesn't he have
I've
to?
seen him live, and he ain't it.
No, doesn't he at some point have to be good at quarterback though?
That's you know what, and I'm glad you said the hotspot, because there's a lot of people that have the misconception that a quarterback does not throw the ball. Let's go ahead and get let's go ahead and get Richardson because he runs 40 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. Oh, hey, let's go get Milroe, because Milroe, man, he can run the ball.
I like Milroe, man.
Has nothing to do with him passing it. When you ask him to dump off to a running back, and he's missing that. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. You gotta have to figure out where people's coming from nowadays, because the last time I checked, the quarterback's main job is to throw the ball.
You're right.
This is true.
So to my defense here to back up Jalen Milroe here, look what he did when he had his old coach for this year. He had a way better season, and this year,
he regressed this year while in college. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I blame it on the coach.
Yeah, so that's not a thing you want to.
I'm blaming it on the coach. I like Jalen. All right.
Good luck trying to use that as an excuse when you're at the combine talking to these head coaches. Oh, the head coach system in college wasn't working out for me. That's why my numbers dropped a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. But
that ain't gonna fly.
I guarantee you this though, he's gonna wow some people watching him at the combine, and he's gonna be, and he's gonna be drafted high, just like Anthony Richardson. He's and that's why the combine plays a big factor for these guys who don't think that they're gonna be a high draft pick, because you never know. Like, look at Bo Nix last year, he shot up. Look at JJ McCarthy last year. Like a lot of people had him late second round, but they come out in the combine, they impress, and the draft stock goes up. And that's how I feel of what Jalen will do. And like we all have our differences of opinions here, which is what makes this panel great. You know what I mean? Like we all don't hold hands. We're like, oh yeah, we all think the same thing, right? I am very high on Jalen Milroe here. I'm probably the most high on him, out of all the guys here on this panel. So
you're the only high on him. So
there. So I am the only one on Jalen Milroe. And I'm proud of it.
Speaking of athletic quarterbacks who struggle with the throwing part of quarterbacking, there's one more available quarterback possibly, and his name is Justin Fields.
Did you watch the short that I sent to your phone? The one where he threw it at the.
That was Milroe. Yeah, I saw that.
Thoughts?
It's he's throwing out a goalpost. There's no rush, and
I kind of figure I kind of figure you're going to go with that, but nonetheless, I don't think a lot of other guys could do that too. And as they're backing up,
he has a strong, deliberate. He looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, this motherfucker was part of my cursing. I'm so sorry for cursing on
like
chat.
that.
Twitch. I'm sorry. Twitch. Okay, but
we can't cuss.
Oh no! I'm just trying to keep it.
I know I said something earlier.
No. No. I'm just trying to keep it wholesome.
Liberated or
but there's times where I get a little wild. You know what I mean? But
we trying to put this on Disney Channel.
Yeah, probably not gonna fly.
ESPN, Disney. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
No, Justin Fields. I mean,
I like Justin Fields too. A lot of people aren't high on him, but I like Justin Fields too.
Twan, how do you feel about Justin Fields? What's your Justin Fields opinion with this team? Huh?
Running back?
Quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
You talking about Lynn Bowden, Joker?
Dude, now I get the joke he's saying. Dude, that was great. I set that up. He said the running back. Hey, touche. I give you a little drum roll.
Hey, look. Hey, that's probably why I haven't reached 500 subscribers yet. Because I just tell it like it is. Look, I'm tired of hearing about a quarterback, and the first thing that comes out of people's mouth is how fast he can run.
Right, bro.
That
tape.
If you want to get me hyped, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get my juices flowing over a quarterback, let the first thing that comes out of your mouth tell me how good he throws the ball, how accurate he is. Not if he can run. That's why there's running backs. That's why we have running backs. Like, I know it's a benefit to a quarterback that, they can run and have the mobility and all that. But if that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth in regards to a quarterback, that's not a quarterback. That's just an athlete. Right. And right now, I can't call Justin Fields a quarterback. I consider him an athlete.
Right on. Yeah, that's perfect, brother. I would take a flyer on him because this is just me talking here, and I might and yes, I believe I'm the only one here on this panel who's on high on Justin Fields too. I believe that he's young and he's talented. I believe Pete Carroll could definitely, kind of tune things up, like tighten some, little bolts and screws, and tighten some bands on them and stuff like that, Yeah,
are you talking about as a project or actually as a starter?
I believe that Pete Carroll could definitely whip him into shape to be a starter if he set his mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Carroll's like, hey, I want you, Justin Fields, to be our guy going forward. I believe that Pete Carroll is the guy that could get the most out of him to perform at a high level.
Okay.
I think you have to run a specific kind of offense for that. Something that's closer to what Lamar was running earlier in his career.
Like, I would rather have Fields over water under the bridge. And that's just me speaking. And that's just me, guys, speaking here. So all the fans watching, I'm speaking for myself. I don't speak for them. I just want to make that clear. So I may sound crazy, in a while, but that's why I'm Western Conference, and I'm going to call it how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. This is fine. I believe they had him on half-field reads over there, and designed things kind of around his mobility. He was throwing for 140 yards every game, except for a couple exceptions, one against the Colts, which is weird. He didn't turn the ball over a lot. He one pick against the Chargers, but I think he had a fumble or two. Got in the end zone some, not every game, but once a game, pretty much, except for one game when he got two. He just Keer took the team, right? We watched him play, and I watched him play in Vegas. That ain't it. 145 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Just a real kind of player. And the tape. Okay, so I looked at the tape because I was trying to figure out what Getsy's offense is. He was the coordinator. And it was impossible to really judge him, Getsy, because the quarterback was missing so many wide open freaking reads that it was insane. He would miss 2 or 3 guys wide open on one play. He was late to throw screen passes, which are already predetermined. He was not getting through his progressions. He was getting stuck on players, eyeballing him, and then trying to jam it in there. And this was like year 4 or something for him. It was some of the worst quarterback tape I have ever watched. So my dad was like, "Oh, you hate Justin Fields." I don't know that guy. I don't hate him. I am offended by how he plays the quarterback thing.
Yeah.
It's offensive.
That's great takes. It's great. And I love how we all have a different point of opinion, here. So it's great.
So let's get through the chat and wrap this up.
Yeah, please. Let's get this ball rolling. We've been in here for almost an hour and 45 minutes, y'all. Make sure you hit that like, sub to our channels.
For real.
Check if you. So I don't know if you guys are on Twitch too, but make sure you check out my Twitch channel, which is live right now at Western Confrence. Just type it in.
So let's see what they're saying here. So he says, if you get Najee and some scat back type pass catcher, we would be good to go. That would work. Just that right there, for sure. Like a Najee or something. Nah, it's just gonna pay it's gonna cost some money, some real money. I don't know about that. Shador is gonna be the quarterback picking the draft. Move up and get him if you need to. Chris, I think you might be right that we really should just probably try to get Shador in the building.
I agree.
As a Seahawks fan, Chris says, give me a second rounder and this year and the first next year, and we'll give you DK. And I'm not giving you that. I'll give you a third.
I was going to say a third. I was like, you can have a third. And we swap a little dope for tres.
Huh?
Didn't D-Hop go for less than that in his prime?
Yeah. You're not getting the first and second for a receiver. Sorry, man. Quarterback, maybe. Sanjeet said that we should tank this season already. Okay.
Man, don't get me started on that. See, I was about to cuss.
No, cuss, please don't hold that. I'm just trying to not curse because I curse. Like I'm throwing out F-bombs and P words. I'm just trying to improve on my cursing. That's all.
Obviously, he's doing what he's doing. He has 53,000 subscribers. So, obviously he's doing well.
I watch his content too. I didn't see him say anything about that yet, but that's interesting if that's something that he did say. So I'll just say that.
I watched somebody,
Angie, then thank you for watching if you're watching.
I watched a content creator say that somehow the press conference was an indication that Aiden O'Connell is going to start.
No, so that's just Did you
know the press conference was like missing something?
I think if you look at the roster as an indication right now that Aiden O'Connell is going to be the starter, because who else is going to start for us?
Right?
We can't start Minshew.
Absolutely.
No.
By default, right now.
I mean, next
by default. Yeah.
Turns over every stone that looking for a quarterback, which is not
every stone.
You have the one on your roster.
Every pebble, every leaf.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, AOC is our fallback guy. If nothing works, like you said, if all hell breaks loose in regards to getting a quarterback,
that's that.
You just gonna roll with AOC.
Break glass and roll AOC. That's right. Oh, so he said this in his Graham video, guys. Sanjeev, I guess. He's saying at the end, so we can not watch the whole thing. We don't want to, although we would, Sanji. We'd watch the whole thing for you. Free agent and trade quarterback.
And I just gotta say, Sanji, if you are watching, I would love for you to join our panel, or if
Dude, expertise will take
you know, I would love to be on your content or your channel, and I have some things that I would like to share with you. No harmful stuff. You know what I mean? I just want to talk and just bounce things off each other here. No Diddy or anything like that. But
he's a big Sanjit fan, and he really likes your show. Been watching it the whole time too, man. You're pretty cool. So Rodgers, Wilson, Fields, Geno, Mac Jones, I think it's supposed to be Daniel Jones, Winston, Cousins, Darnold, Kyle Trask. No, not happening. And if I have to choose one, obviously it's got to be Russell Wilson, guys. I think the time horizon makes sense. All right. So if you say tank before the season even starts, then you're tripping. I agree. If we draft a rookie quarterback, he will not start until next year, anyways. Okay.
I'm a firm believer on benching a guy and
it makes
having them
sense.
sit and learn.
J Dog heard that too. The tank job next year. Keep Minshew and Bo Harder. Oh my god,
that's interesting because I haven't heard anything like that, and I'm pretty, like I'm out there like diving into all this stuff, and I haven't seen anything like that. So it's
talent-wise, all the quarterbacks are outside the top 10. Even Warden Sanders, teams will reach for them. That's absolutely true.
Absolutely, yep.
100%. And then he says, "What rookie quarterback best fits the Bevel offense? Shedeur Sanders."
I agree.
Shout out to
Mr.
Youngstown,
CT.
Ohio.
Shout out to you, brother.
Hey, what's up? Yes, Youngstown. What's going on?
I think we'll have more of an indication of what is really going to go on when we solidify who is our offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think Shedeur kind of fits with, what we kind of envision at this moment. But you never know with that offensive coordinator,
It depends on who it is. It may not even be Bevel. He could go in a completely different direction, right? Being like, I want a different, more modern this or something, or you know what I mean? So you never know. Or he could go Bevel and be like, let him compete for the possibility of being head coach when Pete leaves after, like I said, being picked as the interim head coach on 2 different squads, right? Would we fire Carroll if he had 2, 4, and 13 seasons? Yes, I would, because that would mean something's wrong with him.
But I don't believe he'll have 2, 4, and 13 seasons, though.
No, I think we'll probably win. You could combine the wins from those 2 seasons, and that's probably how many wins we get this year coming up, or more.
I think this might be his worst season.
Yeah, probably 8.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely, right. Absolutely. I agree.
Tank equals starting Minshew with Getty at OC. Okay. Pete Carroll going to be grading midterms, finals, projects, and papers.
So this guy V Beezy here, I seen it on the.
Are you saying because he's working at USC at the same time?
So I just want to give. So yes, he is right, but he is a co-instructor. He ain't the main dude. He's a co-instructor.
He teaches a class. God dang, he ain't better than minds of the youth. That's a negative. Be busy. We lost 10 straight. Plus went 0-6 in the division. That's tanky. You would think so, except for then he won those games, so we weren't.
When you look at our roster based on injury,
tell him, Twan.
That's what it was. I really wish I could have snapped a photo of what our preseason team looked like, and then what our team looked like in week 17. It was about the same.
Completely different team. So many injuries, for sure.
Like the players that you saw in preseason playing, those were guys that were ending the season for us.
Right. We were wishing.
There was no way Darnay Holmes was supposed to be playing significant snaps for us. I can keep going down the list. There was no way Snowden was supposed to be playing significant snaps for us. Like half of our D line early in the season got wiped out.
VBZ, why are you so disturbed at this man teaching a class? I don't understand.
Hey, BZ, man, you're a cool dude, and I say, but look, I ain't trying to. I don't mean this in a bad way, at all. So please don't take this the wrong way when I say this, but I just honestly feel, brother, that you have something against Pete Carroll, and you're trying to reach for every little thing.
I don't know what happened. Pete must have pissed in his Cheerios at some point. Pete Carroll's success depends on Bevel OC and free agent quarterback that we signed. So he's pro bringing Bevel. We got a boys club organization. Players got to leave practice early to grade these exams. Our substitute coach will come on, man. How hard do you think it is to be a co-instructor?
He's a co-instructor.
College
and I bet you he's gonna open his laptop and he'll be there. You know what I mean, with the kid. You know what I
mean? Pete Carroll.
He's probably not even grading papers. Like it might just be a situation where he's doing like an hour lecture, you know what I'm saying? For the class, and this is obviously everything's probably virtual. So he's sitting on his laptop and blah 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 class, and that's it. So a lot of professional, people that you don't realize are actually people that actually coach, not coach, but teach in college. They have like one class that they teach, and they lecture on whatever the topic is.
Right. Because the thought process behind that is that actually teaching is the best way to continue to stay on top of what's current and, stay fresh, because it requires learning to teach, and the action of teaching reinforces that data. Right. Rick, you ever worked with the Bucks?
And let me say this too. Take it as like we see all these athletes. Max Crosby has a podcast. How long is he on that podcast? That's about as much time Pete Carroll's going to be teaching that class. So whatever time you allow Max Crosby to do his podcast and all these other players to do their podcast, that's about as much time as Pete Carroll's taking to lecture some kids on whatever the topic is.
And I feel that players shouldn't do a podcast during the season while the season's going. I feel like they should be 100% focused on their team and committed to going out there and get the win, right? When the off season's there, you can do it. Go out,
need some sort of it's like balance in life, right? You cannot spend every waking moment thinking about football. It'll drive you crazy and you won't have perspective. You need to let your subconscious mind work, which means you can't be consciously thinking about it at all times. Okay. Your subconscious can't work that way. And so give it a shot. Right.
Everybody has a podcast. All the athletes, everybody has one now.
VBZ says, I'd rather have Lockett than Metcalf. This is a good point. Lockett's probably toast.
I like him too, but I'm going with DK all day.
Okay. Lockett's.
That brings up a good question. Do you think, in situations like that where you have two good receivers, they help each other out, right? So do you think some of DK's numbers are inflated because he had Lockett? And is he going to be able to, is he going to be able to handle that type of load without Lockett? Because I love Jacoby Myers, but if you ask me Lockett or Myers, I might lean towards Lockett.
I hear you. Yeah.
I can understand that, point. I get it. Honestly.
They complement each other, obviously. I think that GJ, I would be more worried about that if he wasn't an imposing physical player. Mm-hmm. So, if it was like, how is he doing this? Right? Oh, it's just like nuance and route running. Well, then that would be affected by the other player, right? Mm-hmm. Not so much nuance and route running. That's the thing for him. So I'm like, I think that's more about him just being a beast of a person, right? And like, hawking DBs when they get interceptions and shit like that. That was great. And a hustle play, right?
I mean, he always has that for him too, is the jump ball. You know what I'm saying? He always has that ability to him. So I see that. But that's what you run into anytime. And that's just not with running backs. With wide receivers, you run
point that way.
you run into that even with corners. You know what I'm saying? I remember Ohio State when people were talking about was Jeff Okudah or who was it? The guy that we had, Arnett. Who was the better corner out of those guys?
Neither.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like one of those guys was getting the action, and it was because the other guy was, was locking it up. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out who's really the guy when you got two guys on the opposing, sides.
Yeah. I think Jacorian Bennett was in a similar situation in college. So, or he had another corner that's good on the other side. And it was like, who's really good here, and why is this happening?
Yeah,
DK is crazy as a blocker. Huge thing in this offense. Huge thing, I think, for receivers nowadays, as the receiver position becomes more and more competitive and looks to move its way down the line to where running back used to be, as the running back position moves its way back into prominence, where it should be once again. So PG is back as our DC. He's been a solid DC. That type shit. Gorilla type shit, right?
Salute to Hit Stick.
Love it. Hit Stick always hits us with that type shit. Look up DK's vertical jump. Just saw a clip that looked fake. Yeah, no, it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh man, dude, he's gifted. He is gifted.
Yeah. DJ. I'll learn how to say it. He can be incredibly accurate. His form can be erratic. He needs some time to kind of straighten that all out and make sure it's consistent. And we did say what's up to RaiderNation because he's the man. He says, I sure hope Pete Carroll can help and get PG's defense to tighten up in the middle of the field, especially at the tight ends.
Oh, he will.
If you're looking for help in tight ends, maybe not Pete's defense. Seattle was notoriously compromised by tight ends.
It will be improved.
This may not be the end of the Kelsey nightmare. I'm just saying.
I think if the Chiefs win this year, Kelsey's done, and we don't got to worry about him anymore. Right after the sunset.
I wouldn't be so sure, but we'll see.
I'm gonna cash that and take it to the bank.
Cam Newton has a lot going on. Yes, he is. He does. Caping for Joy Taylor. Just like everyone wanting Lynch as a running back coach. I'd like it, but
nothing wrong with peanut butter skin.
That's a nostalgia pick right there. I like him too, but
ain't nothing wrong with peanut butter skin, baby.
But no,
tempted me with that peanut
think
butter.
with the chart and not with your heart.
Woo! Oh, loose. Good evening, Miss.
Good evening, Miss Valerie.
Bam.
He was feeling that too. That's the funny part about it too.
Raiders Rebel. Shout out to Raiders Rebel. Check out
it.
his channel too, man. He has some good stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Raider Rebel.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Ray Ryan says the press conference had me hyped. It feels like the beginning of something special. I'm out here in PNW in Washington, hearing nothing but praise from Pete Carroll. Even Seahawks are hopeful.
Yeah,
he knows, man. You up there, you already know who Pete Carroll is, bro. This is gonna be fun.
Amazing press conference. And as I said earlier, I felt like it was the best press conference out of all those.
We could have hired him for coaches.
Aaron Glenn, Sean Heimer. It was better than all that. So yeah, man, I'm fired up. Raider Brian. Let's go.
Cool kids. That's what.
Cool
Then,
kid.
Rebel says, if you look at the starting quarterback, that's mainly what it was, bad decisions. Huh. I'm trying to see what we were talking about right then, because I'm trying to catch up. So if you're still here, let me know. So salute back to you. Cool
Kev.
kid.
Kev's too cool.
Too motherfucking cool. Rare Rebel getting some love from Ryan. He says, if we had a 1 turnover game, you could overcome that, but 2, 3, you can't win that like that. Oh yeah, for sure.
Not with this roster.
No, yeah, and this is the thing: you can overcome 2 if the quarterback then makes up for it, right? You start to get to 3. I guess rough, but 2 is like, okay, we still here. It happens, you know. You can still win that game. Without any more fumbles on top of it and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Pete is still better than Ron Rivera. Pete is better than almost
Absolutely.
everybody. Definitely Ron Rivera. Yes, for sure.
He is one of the greatest coaches he's the best coach we had after Tom Flores. You know what I mean? Like, he's amazing.
He was mad in my chat yesterday also.
VBZ. What the F's going on here? VBZ. I bet you he's talking about you. Shit, what up, VBZ?
Because if you put DK in the place of Tucker, you'd have a beast blocker and jump ball ability. Listen, we got to have a power forward in our basketball team of receivers. And we don't have one right now. So we have a center, but he's a tight end. So
I see what he's saying size wise, but remember Tucker's a slot receiver.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So DK's your traditional X. You know what I'm saying? Outside big body wide receiver. So they're 2 different. You know what I'm saying? Wide receivers, but body wise, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. He says, "What up, Rebel? Love your work." He's dope. Yeah. What other coaches teach classes in NFL, NBA? But I don't
to be honest with you,
as a co-instructor, you got to get the words
to be honest with you,
in the heezy.
If I did, there is coaches and individuals that are in the sports realm that actually are professors.
Okay, with that said, Rebel y'all simping on Pete being a head coach, accepting that shows our weakness as
I don't
fans.
understand that. You
What?
are about to get you're about to get the most electrifying move in sports entertainment history right now.
Are you kind of like football control? Maybe you should be like going for that Patriot way stuff. You're like, don't anybody breathe in football. Are you breathing? I don't like how you're doing that.
Out of all the outlets and stuff that I've been through and I've seen, I think you're the only one that like actually hates on him. You know, like there's fans out there who like say it's like age, but they don't really have that hate there. But man,
J-Dog, you are
Pete Carroll did, man.
You're right about this. So you're both right? So Tucker played majority of his snaps outside for the Raiders. In college and through most of his career, he played a lot of slot. So he is a slot receiver, but in this offense, he did play outside a lot because Jacoby Myers was all up in the slot, right? And then there was some of that got lessened as we got rid of Devontae, and Jacoby played outside a little bit more, and you'd see him in the slot a little bit more. So yeah.
Yeah, things got a little crazy after Devontae left because they were trying to figure out, figure out where people was lining up and everything else. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a mad blitz after, Devontae left because it was set, Obviously, Devontae was on one side, Jacoby was on the other side, and then Trey was, primarily slot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had DJ Turner, kind of your gadget guy.
Yes, DJ Turner. Shout out to DJ Turner, man, for like how he came up this year.
Yeah.
He worked hard the whole time he'd been here. He'd been waiting for his chance. got a
Absolutely.
chance and really fucking kicked the door down.
He
Right?
looked good. He definitely improved, got better. You know what I'm saying? He got more opportunity, and I think that was another thing was, the more opportunity he got, he
That's all
actually
he wanted.
showed, but you could definitely tell from year to year that he's been in the lab. He's been working.
Yeah. Shout out to guys who grabbed their opportunity the best they could, like Sincere McCormick did before he got hurt. Right?
Yo, and shout out to Airsoft Dude, my guy, my man who's in here. He also said RIP Too Short's brother. If that's the case, then rest in peace to Too Short's brother. Man.
For sure. So we've been here 2 hours. I got another engagement I'm already late for. They're gonna hate me.
It's
So
time to bring the wagon train home.
let's bring it home, guys. Final thoughts, anything you want to get out before we close this down for the night, and then we'll be back, guys. It's Wednesday. We got Saturday night special coming, like we always do, and we'll probably have the crew. Twan, you want to come back to Saturday night special? We do that.
So I got big things that are coming for my channel soon. Now I don't have so I won't say I'm gonna have some insiders or a source or anything like that. So it's nothing like that. But I will say that it's big stuff coming to my lives that I will be put out, and I won't say when because it's going to be a surprise date. You'll see it when I present it, and so I'm definitely looking forward to that because it's going to be exciting to show. And my boys here, are always, I will keep them, in the circle on that, and I just have to say, I'm gonna start doing a random Raider player at the end of each show. And while the whole time we were doing this live here, I was thinking of a random, player, and a former random Raider player of the day today is Doug Jolly. So I'm gonna just say that. So a former random Raider of the day, Doug Jolly. Salute to the great Doug Jolly. And I'm going to just end it here by saying keep it cool, keep it light, keep it fresh. Make sure you hit the like button, sub to our channels. And it's been a pleasure. And thank you guys for tuning in to this live stream. I appreciate y'all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Raider Twan.
Hey, man, it's always good to get on with you guys. I'm glad that you guys are allowing this crazy guy to get on panel with you and talk this Raider football. Raider Twan on YouTube, for those that don't know, those that are on the other wonderful channels, definitely come on over to Raider Twan, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. I don't know where we at right now.
Get him there, guys.
But yeah, I say it all the time. I'm starting from the bottom and I'm still there. So I need you to help me and subscribe. So definitely do that. I will be hopefully you'll see me tomorrow if you hit that subscribe button and push that notification bell. I will be going live and talking about some key things from a press conference this past week about what's going on with this organization, past and present. So you do not want to miss that. That will probably be around 3-4 o'clock hours. So definitely you want to come on over to Raider Twan. Quit playing with yourself. Subscribe. Remember, you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else.
Absolutely. And then one final thing, I'm also on Twitch also as well. So for all the people out there, RaiderNation fans, if you're tuning in on Twitch, follow me on Twitch also as well at Western Conference at Twitch. Thank you.
Also, let me say that for all content creators, if you want me to be again on panel like you see me with these wonderful brothers, hit me up on IG. TWUAN. I work with all content creators. So
easy to work with, guys.
Just reach out.
Work with. It's plug and play when you got somebody that knows the team and knows the world the way he does.
I don't treat it like games. So look, I just gotta say this here, and I'll stop. But some people won't mess with other Raider content creators because they're on this or this. You know, we're all one. We're all one, and we all share a different opinion. And this guy has my first name, Raider Transplant Angelo. So my first name is Angelo. So shout out to you, Angelo, from Angelo to Angelo. What's up? What up?
Yeah, that's one of my good brothers, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, you know, I will say, as far as the show is going, we are actually finally going to be able to get our quarterback review stuff out. I figured out how I wanted to do this. I'm going to start at the bottom of the list, and we're going to work our way up to the top. So we're doing the top 15 quarterbacks in the draft. And after scoring everybody, I believe number 15 is actually Quinn Ewers.
Oh, and there's a lot of people out there that are high on him too.
So there's 15 better than Quinn Ewers. That's what you're saying?
14.
Oh, I mean 14. I'm sorry. You know, I went to public school, so you know, please forgive me for my public school education.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I do 4 games. I break down what I see and score it out, just so you guys can have an idea what that looks like. You know, I look at every quarterback, you know, from arm strength as far as zip, distance, off platform, on the run, rolling right and left, play intellect, right? Play mastery, pre-snap reads, post-snap diagnosis, improvisation, deception, and athleticism.
Damn.
Take a look at mastery.
Gotta love it.
So we look at quick, short, intermediate, deep, off platform, on platform, rolling right, rolling left. We look at pocket mechanics, pocket poise, pocket awareness, footwork, arm mechanics. We look at just sheer athleticism, size, speed, strength, agility, tackle breaking, and tackle avoidance. And then intangibles, leadership, competitiveness, demeanor, off-platform delivery, and then
magic. Now that is a dissecting breakdown, sharp as a Genzu goddamn blade right there. And props to that. And don't take all his ideas he just said either right now. So I also do breakdowns as well. I didn't do as much as I did this year compared to last year because I'm just tied up with work. I'm working overtime and I'm trying to put out as much breakdowns as I can. But I do have one right now on Cam Ward. So if you're a Cam Ward fan like I am, please go for you to check it out. It's a great breakdown.
Yeah, I think me and you agree Cam Ward is QB1.
So, which is why he was the first one that I did.
There you go. I'm going the other way, okay?
Hey, I'm not trying to give away all your cooking stuff, but you know, with all that criteria, you know what I'm saying, it seemed like yours might have slid a little bit. I'm just saying. That's what it sounded like to me. I know you got a whole lot more, but it sounded like yours took a little slide. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for you, look, I was like,
went bananas.
I mean, the accuracy numbers just aren't there, bro. In the 4 games, and then you watch it on tape. Like I said, it's 4 games, but I have never had a situation where after looking at 4 games and I look at games from different times of the season, different levels of competition. I've never looked at 4 games of a quarterback and then went back and like, man, if I had looked at 6 games, I would have had a completely different opinion, right? Like, we still look at the stats from the rest of the season.
Cam Ward? Are we talking about Cam Ward?
No, we're talking about Quinn Ewers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I ain't high on him at all. So who said that? Y'all smoking?
People have him like 3 or 4 or something. And I'm like,
yeah, no. Some people have him as one. Some people have Jackson Dart as one. Some people have Dylan Gabriel as one. We all have a different aspect, like on what we would like to have him going forward. And that's what's one thing that's great about the Raider Nation. You know, we all want to throw in our opinions, and we all think that we know what's best, right? But
yeah. So Senior Bowl stuff is always important. First day, nobody looked good.
Yes.
Now, second day,
And they should.
Dylan Gabriel looked good. Great, apparently. We'll see. I'll have to look at the notes. But that concerns me with Jackson Dart, that he didn't look good so far at the Senior Bowl.
The first day they should never look good, because you know why? They're not thrown to their bus buddies.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different, like, and that's why the Senior Bowl is important, especially when it comes to the quarterback, because they're not thrown to their best buddies. Their best buddies know where to be at. Their best buddies know where, you know what I'm saying, the timing and everything. With these guys, they got to figure out where these guys is. They might have a guy that lines up that's faster than what they expected. There might be a guy that's slower than they expected. There might be a guy that, you know, where he breaks, it might be different from, you know, the guy, his slot corner, you know, I mean, his slot wide receiver. So there's adjustments, especially in those first couple of days. So, you know, hopefully by the last day, definitely by the game, hopefully they can get it, you know, together. And if they can't, then that's also another indicator that they need some time.
Absolutely. So my boy Hot, I believe he has to go to a different channel right now. So let's bring the Spytek train on home. We've almost been here for almost 2.5 hours. If I don't get to my wife, I'm going to be in the doghouse. So
we're all going to be in trouble. So
we all don't want to be in the doghouse with our wife.
Riley Leonard, yeah, we'll have to take a look at him too. So yeah, just so you guys know, that's what we're doing. And yeah, so look for the Quinn Ewers thing to come out after I get a chance to record some more of the B-roll stuffy stuff and put it together. So yes, so that's where we're looking. And you know, we want to kind of get through some more quarterback stuff and then talk about what the offense and defense is going to look like. We'll start with the defense, since we'll have some clear ideas about what Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll will do. And I'd love to do a kind of a live where we get to break down and really start to talk about X's, O's, and what makes the cover three what it is, and what makes Graham defense what it is, and how that might turn into something monstrously wonderful. So, but the big thing is we got to get out of here. So I'll say it like this, guys. Stay positive. We have reasons for that. So let's keep that energy going, right? And then there's a lot going on. People saying this or that. What you got to do is read between the lines, man.
Between them lines, all right? For shizzle nizzle, make it between the lines, all right? All right.
That's right. And do all that and just make sure you stay hot.
And it's rumor season, y'all. So just
don't believe anything you hear until you hear it.
As the great Flavor Flav would say, don't believe the hype.
Don't bring your kids.
Don't believe the hype, all right? Don't believe the hype.
Better not bring your kids.
Yep, right, better not bring your kids, man. Shout out to the great Dave Chappelle, man.
Good night now.
All right, y'all. Good night.